Welcome to the Hua Hin Today Podcast, where we bring you interesting conversations with a wide range of people living and working in Hua Hin, Thailand. I'm Jonathan, and if you're interested in Hua Hin, the people who live here, or just expat life in Thailand in general, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. For this episode, I chatted with David Long, owner of the ever-popular Father Ted's Irish pub in Hua Hin. He talks about his background from his early life in Cork to his journey to running pubs in Thailand. He gives me the good, bad and ugly side of being a pub landlord and all the hard work involved. He also tells me about the lengths he went to keep the pub up and running during the pandemic, and gives insight about what he's got coming up in the future. If you've ever wondered what it really takes to run a pub in Thailand, if you're a regular at Father Ted's or just interested in hearing about expat life, David's story is one you won't want to miss. Let's get into it. You know what we should do, mate?
What's that?
We should move to Thailand. We'll open a bar. We'll open an Irish pub. And it'll be light work, mate.
Yeah.
We sit round, have a few Guinnesses, listen to a bit of music.
Yeah.
It won't be like a real job. Yeah. We'll just be able to do that. It'd be easy, right?
To be brutally honest with you, mate, it's definitely not going to be that easy, you know.
I can imagine. Firstly, thanks for agreeing to do this. Mm-hmm. For people who don't know you, this is David from Father Ted's, David Long. I'd say a prominent member of the expat community here, whether you like it or not. I think because of the pub you run and, you know, everyone knows Father Ted's, I think. And from that, everyone knows you. But I want to take it way back to the start. Tell me a little bit about like your early life, where you're from, and how did you end up running Father Ted's in Hua Hin?
I'm from Cork, Ireland. Very south of Ireland, a small town called Douglas, just outside the city. My father is a technician by trade, so we've cash register business. My dad was the head technician for NCR, big American company. He used to fix ATM machines before there was anything digital, so literally got locked into the vault and took apart machines with springs and cogs. He could be locked in there for a week and that, you know. Yeah, I basically followed in his footsteps. I helped the family business, and we had a lot of great customers who, to be honest with you, are still some of the main players back in the pub the pub game, not just only in Cork, but actually in Ireland. Probably one of the most famous publicans in Ireland goes by the name of Benny McCabe, and he was probably our best customer. I looked up to Benny a lot, and numerous other people. I mean, and our family had a fantastic pub in Crosshaven, my uncle. So I kind of grew up, around the pubs and that. And as I grew older, I was basically teaching people how to look after stock, somewhat manage their systems and everything else that came with it. And to be honest with you, I'm sure as you remember, there was a bit of a recession in Ireland, and our business suffered pretty badly from it. And, you know, a lot of things went online. People were shopping online, got a bit cuter with their purchasing power. So a lot of my clients and customers at the time took me on board to manage their pubs, to teach their staff more and just go back over things, you know. So I kind of got into the pub game that way. It wasn't the normal route, you know. But I looked after a couple of venues and that. But I'm a sound engineer by trade. Actually,
yeah, I was just about to ask you that. I didn't know that. Yeah. I'm sure you'll tell us some things I don't know in this podcast. But I knew you had where did you work? Doing sound engineer. I remember you telling me that before.
I worked in the Opera House in Cork.
Right.
Yeah, I started there, and I branched out a couple of other venues around town, Prushkeen Lawn and Cypress Avenue, a few other places there. Pretty big venues in Cork. And like most Irish people of my generation and far after, to be honest with you, I travelled, you know, and I wanted to do a year out, so I ended up in Thailand. So my girlfriend at the time, we were together a long time, 7-8 years. Her uncle had 3 houses in Hua Hin. So
So did you come from there straight to Hua Hin, did you?
I did, yeah, straight to Hua Hin. It was just after the tsunami.
Oh, right.
So 20 odd years ago.
Oh, right. You know? I thought you'd been here about 10, 12 years. Well, longer than that then.
Yeah, about 20 years now. So we were very lucky. He gave us a house in Hua Hin, and, you know, I just automatically fell in love with the place. Mm. I knew there was a bit of a void straight away for a quality Irish pub, you know. There was one Mickey Mouse one downtown. I'm not going to name names, but it was, to be honest with you, it wasn't it wasn't very desirable, And I just always had it in me to wanting to come back and do something here. So after I'd done we stayed here for 3 months and went to Australia.
Where in Australia were you?
Sydney.
Well, yeah, I had like a year in Australia, up that coast, starting
Gold
Sydney.
Coast and that, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I spent most of my time in Brisbane, but
Okay, yeah.
they all say, Brisbane's dead boring, but
I've never been to Brisbane.
I liked it. Yeah. Yeah, it had a good music scene.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
But I ended up working in the State Theatre in Sydney. And
doing the sound engineering, what you've been doing,
Yeah, I was lucky. Like my old boss in the Opera House told me, look, just mention my name, hand in your CV, and I'm pretty sure you'll get something. And he was right. The next day, my first day in the job, I was working on a set with James Brown in the State Theatre.
Oh, right.
So, and I'm a big James Brown fan. I love soul music and that. So, I landed on my feet pretty much,
No way.
And so I branched out from there. They gave me some great jobs, basically traveling around, setting up venues, and I just I done a year there. To be honest with you, I just wanted to come back here the whole time.
Yeah,
it was I done a year there. Went off to Fiji, went to America, traveled the States quite a bit, went on to Mexico, but ended up back in Ireland. And
that's a shock going back, innit?
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was for me. Well, I'm back to Manchester. It's the same.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to do when I got home was save up my money and get back out here as quickly as possible, And I managed to do it. I started coming over on holidays like you do, and just making sure if it was correct for me and that. But so I ended up in Koh Samui. I loved Hua Hin, and at the time, to be brutally honest with you, there wasn't an awful lot of opportunities then, So I got involved with an entertainment company in Koh Samui. We were bringing bands over from the Philippines, and I was sound engineering for them, and a couple of big hotels in Phuket. We were branching out, and Krabi as well. I done a New Year's Eve in Krabi, in the Sofitel, and a couple of other pretty decent jobs, But unfortunately, that came to an end when there was the coup, probably 15 years ago when they took over the airport,
Oh, right. Yeah, right. So that was I think that was probably
18 years ago.
Yeah, maybe it was
16 at least, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that was like maybe a year before I came here. Yeah, it had done and dusted by the time here. But I remember I had some mates who were meant to be traveling at that time to Thailand, and all their trip was cancelled because they couldn't promote your business on the Hua Hin Today podcast. Email info@huahintoday.com or DM us now. Yeah.
It was tough, I had a small bar down there as well, and I had my hands in a couple of different pies, but it all went pear-shaped, to be brutally honest with you. There was very few Westerners left and not a lot of money around. So I had to go back home and live with my parents again, or my mum, And kind of demoralising, to be brutally honest with you. But I went back to university, started in UCC. And
how old are you at this time?
Probably 27, 28 maybe. Yeah, around there. I went back as a mature student, and it was great, to be honest. I learned a lot, and I went down a different path. And my ambition really out of it, my goal was to get my degree and probably look for work in Australia again.
Oh, right.
I wasn't, I obviously wanted to come back to Thailand, but the opportunities I didn't think would have existed, you know. But I started to, on my summers off, I started to go to Indonesia. I had a very good friend in Jakarta. He invited me over, and he brought me down to the Gili Islands, just off Bali.
Oh, yeah.
Off Lombok, sorry. So my friend had to go back to work, and I stayed on a bit longer. I had a lot more time, and I just ventured into an Irish pub by the name of Tiernan Og. Told him who I was, what my background and that, and I didn't mention earlier. Actually, I'm a DJ as well. I love hip hop.
I've got that in my notes, Dave.
Oh, is that right?
That. Yeah.
So they were kind enough to give me a job there for the high season. I was resident DJ, and I was managing a little bit for them the first year, and it kind of branched from there. They brought me back the next year, and I loved the place. Indonesia was fantastic for me. To be honest with you, I wasn't too pushed on coming back to Thailand at the time, because I think they were still getting over things.
And it sounded like you had a pretty decent gig there, right?
I did,
DJing in Bali. There's probably worse things for a 20-something to be doing.
Yeah, 100%. It was fantastic, man. Yeah, it was great. But I was offered a job. A friend of mine was getting married in Koh Samui, and he asked me to come over and DJ. And it was right at the end of my kind of contract, my stint in Indonesia. So I came back reluctantly, to be honest with you, because I had commitments back home and that, but I was a good friend of mine, so I ended up coming over and DJing for his wedding. And the owner of a big Irish pub down there was at the wedding. He was pretty impressed by my DJing and came straight up to me after the show and said, "Look, if you want to manage and DJ in my Irish pub," it was called the Shamrock, "you're more than welcome." Yeah, I was supposed to go back to university, but I didn't. But I ended up in Koh Samui after all that time. Back living over here again and managing there. So that's really where it started. That's kind of my history of coming to Thailand, and it branched from there. I done a year there. Decided to come back up towards Hua Hin.
Yeah, were you thinking of Hua Hin at that time?
Yeah, 100%, because I had friends here.
Okay.
I had travelled back through Hua Hin previously on a holiday and that, twice actually. I'd go to the islands, I'd look around Thailand, and I'd always stop in Hua Hin on the way back to Bangkok.
How did you find living on Samui? That island?
It was good, but you got island sickness, mate.
Do you? Yeah, I do.
I found that. I mean, being Irish as well, I think we probably suffer from that anyway, And it was, it was an exaggerated version of that. Eventually, I wanted to get off the island, and I was delighted to come back up to Hua Hin because I always loved the place, and it was,
and there was still no Irish pub there at that time. Oh no, not of any note.
Yeah, well, actually, the one that I used to go to back in the day, that was kind of a half Irish pub. The owner had moved on to another. He opened up a bigger Irish pub here.
Okay.
I stayed over. I planned to stay for a weekend, and again, the owner of that Irish pub approached me. Did I want to work in his place? And I was supposed.
What is it with you and owners?
I know. Yeah. I took it on, and I stayed. I done another year for him, again with the intention of kind of wanting to go back and finish university.
Oh, you were still thinking of it then?
Yeah, I was. I was.
Well, you'd been out here a couple of years by that time, Dave.
Yeah, I've been. 2 years. 2 years. Well, okay, solid 2 years at that stage. But it was always in the back of my mind just to get it done and dusted.
Right, yeah.
I wanted to do the masters and that. And
so, what would that have been in that masters then?
I was studying sociology and the history of art.
Oh, right.
So it was a Bachelor of Arts.
Right. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So I mean. It was. I really enjoyed it. I like that. I like sociology, and I genuinely love history or the art.
Yeah.
So I basically I was kind of at a crossroads. I was about to leave, and there was a new steakhouse opening in Hua Hin, the Admiral. The owner he had a number of very successful.
The Admiral, where was that?
Just a few doors up from Father Ted's.
Oh, right. That was definitdefinitely before my time. I've never even heard of that before, yeah.
So we're probably talking 12, 13 years ago.
Right.
And
that's one. Any of the old-timer Hua Hin expats, you remember the Admiral Steakhouse? That's a good gauge of how long you've been here, yeah.
Right.
I've never heard of that one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the owner, Bent, he's got an Admiral in Bangkok. He's a well-known Danish man, But he branched off and he became partners with a guy called Nicky Preston, who at the time had Hanrahan's, the Royal Oak, Robin Hood, a number of other places in Bangkok, So Nicky took a shining to me. I didn't know, I didn't realise who he was. And when I was managing this other Irish pub, he saw me in action, and he found out that I was about to go home. And anyway, it came to his manager, or his regional manager at the time, approached me and asked me, would I be interested managing a pub in Bangkok for him? And you know what? Like, Bangkok was, my eyes kind of opened a bit. It was, I was.
Yeah, that's different to Samui though, and it's different to Hua Hin.
Exactly, yeah. But I knew this guy was a bit of a serious operator. His places were well known, so I have to give him an awful lot of credit. I learned a lot there. I mean, I took it up. I went to manage the Royal Oak for another year.
Oh yeah.
And brilliant pub, mate.
It's still popular as anything, right? Royal Oak. Yeah. I know it. Yeah.
It was originally the Bull's Head.
Okay.
It was apparently the oldest pub in Bangkok.
Right.
So good clientele, everyone had interesting jobs,
what is the clientele there? Because it's different, right? Bangkok crowd's different, definitely different to Hua Hin, right?
100%, mate. Without being cliche or whatever, I think a lot of the expats of our age group, are predominantly teachers or, some real estate now.
Changed a bit now, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
When I first came here, you
were a teacher, or
Yeah.
So it was a breath of fresh air actually in Bangkok, because all the clientele were bankers, logistics, They had their own companies and that.
Or they're like more like the international, like working for the big international companies that send them up those type. Yeah.
And they were real regulars, like there was very few tourists come to the pub. It was, they were 9 to 5 workers. They come in after work, have a couple of pints, have their dinner, and they're home by 10:30, 11. And it was just like you'd have a pub back home, like your local back home, which was nice to be working in that environment, because the pubs that I was involved with previously were very much touristy, and it was trying to attract that clientele, So I really enjoyed my time up there, But Nicky opened up the Admiral in Hua Hin, or he partnered up with this Danish man, and they asked me would I be willing to come back to Hua Hin, and I was, to be honest, because I loved Hua Hin so much. It was a no-brainer. I'm sure my customers and the clientele in Bangkok were probably disappointed, and and I was a little bit actually to say goodbye to them, because they were great people. But he came. In fairness to the man, he gave me the lease. He gave me the keys to the place. I lived above, and I managed everything. Properly, a proper GM. It was kind of more of a phase of the business previous,
It give you that chance, really. I don't like the word luck. I was talking in another episode with someone, and I don't like the word luck, but sometimes you get a break, right, that takes your life from one path just onto the next. And I've had it in my time here. People have offered me jobs and stuff, and I don't believe in luck, because I know how hard you work, and I've worked hard, but sometimes you just get that break.
I say that kind of hastily, to be honest with you, because I said the exact same thing to the first Irish ambassador after I opened up Father Ted's. I said, I'm lucky that I've done this, and he turned around to me and said, Dave, you make your own luck.
Yeah, too right. It's so true. Yeah.
And it's very, very true. Yeah. I just give props to the people that kind of gave me the opportunity to get to where I am now. Yeah. But you do make your own luck in life.
Yeah, too right. Yeah.
Yeah, I took over there, and I done the best I could, I took over from a manager, and it didn't work out for him, and automatically I managed to improve things, and the figures were better and that, But ultimately it wasn't enough, it was very marginalised, the beauty of an Irish pub, in fairness, is we get the breakfast trade, we get the sport. I'm one of the few really that goes in heavy on the live music. And that's probably because of my background in sound engineering. But I've always been open to the idea of spending a bit more on entertainment, and looking to the future rather than I'm not keen on just winning one night. It's longevity, So
I always think about your place. Like, if we watch live music, it's your place we come to, really. I would say.
Cheers, man.
And you have how do you get you seem to get a lot of bands at your place. I either see them first at your place, or I don't see them anywhere else other than Bangkok. You get them at yours. So you have the Bangkok Beatles, which you have, every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, yeah.
Always popular, right?
Yeah.
All ages like them.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone knows every lyric to the Beatles song. That's taken care of.
Yeah, timeless.
You got the new ones, Morning Chemistry.
That's right, the Oasis tribute band.
Yeah, so this is... we're recording a few of these episodes of these podcasts, and this is already the second episode where I've managed to shoehorn my love for Oasis in. So we'll have more of that. But I'm a big Oasis fan, right? So when I see them lads, they're all Morning Chemistry, young Thai lads, aren't they? But they're good, and they do half Oasis, half other stuff.
Yeah.
How do you get these bands to come here? It's no short journey, really.
I know.
Is that from your contacts from back in the day there, or?
Some of it was, but if you don't put yourself out there, you won't get the chance, and God loves a trier man. For the Nirvana tribute band that we had recently,
Yeah.
Numerous people asked the question, how did I manage to get that? But to be brutally honest, mate, I just had the audacity to get in contact with them and chance it, and they respect that. And I suppose because we've managed to build up a bit of a reputation, there's enough videos and content out there. These people can see that we're legitimate, and it's probably beneficial for them to work with us because it opens up doors for them. Yeah, the Beatles, okay. I chanced my arm a bit in the beginning. They knew John, the main guy who plays John Lennon. He knew me briefly from managing other places. He heard of me, but Yeah, I just tried to be as nice as possible to them and as welcoming as I could. When they came down the very first night, brought them out around Hua Hin, introduced them to some of the main guys like Cartoon and in El Toro Loco, and just make them feel at home, mate. And my staff are very, very good. Like any bands we bring down, they always bend over backwards to look after them.
How many staff do you have at Ted's now?
20.
Do you? Yeah. Is that, we'll get into like the good, the bad, the ugly of it, running a bar, but is staffing an issue for you? Is it?
Yeah, it is, mate. That is the major issue, I think, for everyone. But in all walks of life, I mean, to find quality staff is always the greatest challenge. But I think Thailand is actually very similar now, believe it or not, to Ireland and possibly England. Over the it's becoming that way in regards. There's very few Irish people working in hospitality really now.
Yeah, same. They say that in the UK. It's the same.
The local shops and that will always be Eastern European.
Yeah.
African even, but a lot of Polish and that.
Yeah.
And I think, not unfortunately, but anytime I advertise for a job, I'll have so many Burmese and whatever Filipinos.
Oh, yeah.
So like even just for example, like I advertised there recently for a job on a pretty well established platform online, all right, and they've got thousands of candidates, but I think I had 12 people apply for the job. 11 were not Thai nationals.
Right. Right.
So it's a problem, I think it's a problem for everyone recruiting.
Yeah, I hear it from hotels and a lot of businesses, all different walks of life, like you say. Yeah, for sure.
The high end stuff, I mean, if you've let's be honest here, probably the old bad times of COVID as well would have deterred people from getting into this business.
Yeah, did you see that? So there's like this talk that people went off and during COVID, they couldn't work in the pubs and restaurants, and then they set up their own thing, right? Or e-commerce, or selling on Lazada or something.
Yeah.
Have you found it more difficult after COVID with like staff and stuff, or would you say it's probably back to? Is it always been difficult?
It's always been difficult. Yeah. It's always been difficult, but I mean, let's be honest. Like we've both got kids, right? I think you wouldn't be telling your daughter to aspire to be a barman or a bar lady,
maybe not, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean. But realistically, it is if you've got the skills, you can make cocktails. You're a mixologist, whatever. There is a career there for you, especially for local people. So I do hope that locals kind of start to embrace that a bit more now.
You've had a good team there. We should mention Toon, and he's been there a long time. Your manager, chef. You've had the same chef there for a long time.
Yeah, my head chef's with me. Since day one. My Kay is with me from day one. My cleaner's with me from day one. I've got 5 or 6 that are with me from the day I opened.
And day one. So we'll get into that then. Opening Father Ted's. I jumped the gun then a little bit, but you'd been running the Admiral, and then the opportunity came up for Father Ted's. And for anyone who doesn't know, I guess most people listening to this will know, but your location is like what I think of like central Hua Hin, right? It's on the main strip down towards the beach.
Yeah.
The police station area, you got the Centara nearby, Hilton the other side, Soy Binta Bar, and you're kind of like overlook it almost there. So how did that opportunity with Ted's? And when was that then?
Touch wood, December 1st will be our 10-year anniversary.
Okay.
I bought into the business about 2 months beforehand,
Okay.
We spent a month renovating.
What was in that space before?
Mexican restaurant.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
See, I don't remember that either, right?
Well, Country Road was actually originally there, which was, again, the oldest pub in Hua Hin.
Right.
It was a music venue originally,
Right.
It changed hands over the years, And, as you know, like a lot of things don't work out, unfortunately, for people. But I think when I managed the steakhouse up the road, it was a Mexican restaurant. And I knew the previous owner quite well, a very nice lady by the name of Kunlek. She's got Coco 51.
All right, yeah.
So I partnered up with Lek and a Norwegian fellow by the name of Tor, very nice guy too. And so we went in partners, the three of us, And we started, so many venues open up and they advertise to open on a certain date. And realistically, in Thailand, you're trying to actually finish something on time, it doesn't always pan out. It's very hard to get the team together or whatever else. When you're renovating. But we really pushed hard, and I be honest and say I've never worked harder in my life. People think that it might be easy to open it, whatever. But I mean, I actually started drinking coffee for the first time. I was 20
on that day.
Yeah, well, no, like a month before. So 20 hours a day for a month. I worked to make sure we got open in time. And miraculously we opened on December the 1st.
Still wet paint. Don't sit there a little bit.
5 o'clock, right? 5 o'clock we advertised open. And at 4:30, I put in the last fitted table, nailed it or screwed it down to the floor, jumped on my bike, went home, had a shower, and came straight in, And I mean, it was, and thankfully it worked. There was people there, and I just had, and the thing is, when you open a business, and I've been managing for other people, I just knew straight away this is going to work. Because the ingredients were right. You know what I mean. And just we got a good response,
What's from straight away from the
first day we
hit the ground running, did it?
Yeah. Because as I said, having managed up the road and numerous other Irish bars, and knowing the figures and knowing the clientele, and I knew Hua Hin as well, And thankfully I had good friends like yourself and other people over the years, mate, And they were keen to see me succeed, And thank God it worked for us, It's
not all plain sailing, though. It mustn't be, right?
No, mate.
At the start, when we started this, we're joking around saying opening it. But a lot of people have that as like a dream, don't they? Maybe not a dream, or they stay here for a bit and maybe they get a bit bored. Maybe they're retired or something and they think, we'll open a bar and stuff. But it seems like I like going to your place to relax and get away and have a pint and stuff. But if that's your place of work, or if that's your run, I see you there sometimes, I think, he's busy.
Yeah. To be brutally honest, I might be one of the few people to say that I never wanted an Irish pub. Because I was technical, I was a musician, and being a sound engineer, and that I wanted something else,
Yeah.
But
you did sound engineering. You were going to do sociology.
Yeah. But having the experience of running previous places, I kind of realised after a while that front of house suited me, and I don't mean to be arrogant, but I felt like I was good at it,
You're very when you sit there, you always make sure you say hello and goodbye to everyone who comes in and out. I see that. Little things.
It costs nothing to be nice, man.
Yeah.
And when I managed in Bangkok, it's amazing how many people come up and said that to me, that they'd never seen a manager say hello and goodbye. And for me as an Irishman, I was blown away by that. I was like, come on, that's the basics of the job, That's the least you can do, and in fairness, I think customers want that too, Like everyone wants to know who the boss is, and if you've got some sort of a relationship with the owner, it's always an incentive to come back,
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely in these times where we're like the world, we're more connected, but we're less like personable, aren't we, or less friendly to people.
I agree.
I think sometimes when there's just a friendly face or someone it makes a difference. Right?
Definitely. I mean, local pubs back home are very similar. They rely on that, and having the old chit chat with people, it's important, and for me too, it's genuinely like I don't do it just to get, just to encourage people to come back or whatever. It's sort of a genuine interest, It's nice to have friends here and to be sociable,
Yeah.
It's good for the mind,
You said before, like an Irish pub, it's breakfast, it's the sports, it's live music at night, it's every holiday and everything else.
Yeah.
It's not, for you, it's not just a night out, is it? Like it's long hours then, mate, right? Like give a bit of insight into the graft of running a place. That's what I want to try and get into, the hard work. Because it's not just around drinking Guinness.
No, it's certainly not. No. And actually, at certain times in Thailand as well, it's tough to get Guinness, so I have to...
tell us about that. So it is sometimes, right?
It is, yeah.
And what's the deal with that? Why is that?
Not just the local suppliers, the national suppliers seem to have issues, had in the past, trouble bringing it in, right, importing it. And I think that's the volume, mate. It's become so popular in Thailand,
Everywhere, mate. Everyone I know back home just drinks Guinness now.
Yeah.
And they say that the Guinness Zero is like the only one that's all right, tastes all right, apparently, yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
I've never had it either. I've no intention of doing it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind having it. Like, and I think it'd be nice to have. I think there is a market there certainly for it works back home, but they haven't brought it over here unfortunately yet. But yeah, I mean, to get back there to what's it like to run a pub. I mean, okay, so over the last 15 years, Monday has always been my day off. But since I own my own pub, I do more work on a Monday. I rarely leave my house on a Monday catching up with admin, replying to emails, stock takes, whatever needs to be done, creating posters, adverts.
Do you do all that stuff? Do you graphics for the Facebook page and all that? Do you do? Yeah.
Yeah, everything myself, Just over the last few weeks, I just dabbled a little bit with AI there just to see what it's all about.
A bit of time,
yeah, but to be brutally honest with you, it takes longer for me to do the AI than it does for me to do it myself. So I'm going to knock that in the head, Yeah, I mean, Mondays was, like I said, probably the busiest day in the week for me. But then it's certain times of the month where it's extremely stressful. Like, I mean, when it's coming to payday at the end of the month, making sure that everybody's looked after, all my staff are properly paid, tax, everything is looked after. So
yeah, because you do it all proper, don't you? You do the tax, social security. Like that sounds like a crazy thing to say, but a lot don't, right? A lot aren't doing it.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, where we are, the volume that we're doing it at, like it's required. I mean, and my staff need it as well. Everyone needs social security, And thankfully they do, because when the hard times came there a couple of years back, my staff did get a bit of help, and I had to help them as well, like, to keep them on board. Like,
how stressful was that time, COVID? And
yeah, that was shocking, mate.
Yeah. As bad as had been reported, and
probably worse. I mean, not many people know this, mate. Well, it worked out very positively for me in one extent. I mean, I bought out my both partners then.
Oh right.
So I became the sole owner, really. Like, I have obviously got shareholders in the company, as you need to have, But I had to, we sold our family house to keep Ted's alive.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it meant too much to me, I wasn't willing to let it go. And I wasn't going to go out without a fight. So, and thankfully I did,
That's some of that Cork spirit.
That's the rebel in me,
Yeah. That's some going to...
And it was a nice house too, man. I built that house with my family, When I was 16, the house burnt down and we lost everything. And we built it up, a friend's family. So that house meant an awful lot to us, Beautiful house, pitch pine, water-building fireplace. But my mum had immigrated. She'd followed me over. She knew that Ted's was what it was. It was a success, And none of us wanted to leave it go. And we were happy here,
You were faced with that then? Like, if you hadn't done that, you'd have lost Ted's, you think? Yeah?
Definitely. Yeah, the bills were astronomical, mate, And it was a shame. Like, I mean, so many places were in the same boat, There was just looking around town at that time, like, it was... Half the town was derelict, There was very few quality places left,
It's only now, really, that it's kind of recovering. I think the last year, you've seen new places open. Definitely. And it's get excited again,
Yeah, and it's even a struggle now to find a good location in Hua Hin, because there's so many businesses after taking a chance in the last 12 months, Not that I'm looking for another place around, but you can see a lot of the places that were derelict for quite a substantial amount of time have all, managed to get people in there taking on the premises. It's definitely improved since then, mate, But so let's go. Running an Irish pub, having an Irish pub, mate. It's there is an awful lot goes behind the scenes. Like I mean, trying to keep everybody happy is the toughest part, And you can never keep everybody happy, So the
customer's always right, mate.
Yeah, well, yeah. They sometimes, man, When I was a manager for people, 110% customers always right. But being an owner now as well, sometimes there's customers that are certainly not right. I think for anyone really that's kind of getting into this business or whatever, I think knowing when to say to deny or to tell someone goodbye and keep them away from your premises is actually more important than getting people in, Having the wrong customers inside in your place can make a bad environment, but it can make everything uncomfortable for your regulars and that. So thankfully we haven't had to do it too often, but I will say straight out, like, having the courage to tell people no is just as important as being welcoming,
Yeah. What do you make when you see things like there's the Hard Rock Cafe going to be opening up
Yeah.
near you. When you see new businesses coming here, are you someone who think more competition, or are you someone that is like, well, actually, we're now so well established that we could probably actually benefit a little bit from them opening? What's your thinking with stuff like that?
It's great for the centre of town to have more established, well-known brands like the Hard Rock, you know. I am super competitive, you know. That's just natural. Like, I mean, I don't think I would have lasted this long without having that competitive nature in me. But you're kind of right there with saying where that Ted's is established. I'm more kind of the mindset now that I want to see more quality in the centre of Hua Hin, you know. So I welcome anyone that wants to come in and help grow the centre of town, you know. I mean, there's a lot kind of branching out far away, and realistically, when people stay in the major hotels in town, they want to be within walking distance.
Yeah.
So giving them more variety in that around town is only beneficial to us and to other businesses near me, you know.
With your location there, so you'll get the footfall from the tourists, from the hotels, but then you're a popular expat place as well.
Yeah.
Do you see it, like we're in, well, it's October we're recording this, but it's just been September, which is, for me anyway, it seems like the peak of the low season in September.
Yes, 100%.
When do you see it starting to get busy again for high season with tourists and stuff?
You know, I think October, November, kind of middle ground. So already this week I've seen an improvement, you know.
Have you? Yeah,
for sure. There's been a lot more larger groups of Aussies now, and the Scandinavians haven't really come back in full fold yet, but there's definitely been probably people who have taken the, you know, kind of winter breaks and stuff from back home, or you know, maybe they missed out on summer holidays or whatever it might be. But there's a few decent customers around at the moment, you know. So for us, May and September are the two toughest months.
May and September,
Yeah. I mean, what we consider our summer holidays back home, we probably don't get an awful lot of people here at that time, but the few that we do are genuinely good customers. You know, they're here to enjoy themselves, spend a bit of money. You know, they're family orientated. You know, so it's improved actually. I think Hua Hin over the last couple of years, July, August. You know,
yeah. I think when I first came here, there was very much a high and a low season, very much.
Yeah.
Now I think it's high season's busy, but I think that continues on later in the year.
Definitely.
But I do still think September's
it's a tough one.
This time's been quiet anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and do you know what? I actually I try to put on more on those months just to stay relevant, to keep the people that are here happy, you know? And I think that kind of helps us in the long run.
Yeah, like, so recently then you've had like the Bangkok Comedy Club come in there.
Yeah.
You've had the Nirvana band, like we say. So part of your thinking with doing that is it's low season, but do a bit more.
Yeah, and we had the Cottonmouth Blues Band. Fantastic band. They were with us in the middle of September, you know. So we do, like, I'm under that illusion, man. Like, I might be wrong, you know, but I feel like those months, it's just as important to put on the good stuff and encourage customers to come in, because we're pretty much not just guaranteed, but there's a far better chance that we'll have a better volume of crowd coming in the high season anyway. And we've got a very good variety of music, like 7 days a week, so people are happy to come along, you know. So
I saw some video, you posted it on Facebook like last week. I don't know what band it was or what night it was, but they were all up dancing. Okay. And they looked like young,
very young,
they're like a load of students. They look like
they're all over.
I missed it that night.
Yeah, they were back actually again last night.
Are they?
Yeah, they were upstairs. They weren't dancing as mad, you know. But
still recovering.
Yeah, exactly. They were good, you know. They were all up singing as well, and yeah, we had a great night with them. They're here learning to be teachers. They're
right.
They get placed then around the country. They get job placements, you know.
Oh, very good.
So yeah,
very good. All right. Well, coming up to, you mentioned it before, 10-year anniversary Father Ted's. Now, normally every anniversary you do a bit of something, right? So what are you doing this year? Is it going to be extra special? What's going on? And when is it? When is the anniversary?
So it's December 1st is when we open our doors to the public. But it lands on a Monday this year. So we've gone for Saturday, Sunday. We're going for a bit of a weekender.
Okay. I really like the sound of it. Okay. Father Ted's weekender.
That's it, man. So Saturday night, we've got the Cottonmouth Kings are coming down. They're going to do a commitment show.
Okay.
And they'll do the Blues Brothers then as well for us. So New Year's, we had them perform the Blues Brothers show. We want to take it to another level this year, and they're going to do the Commitments as well. So, and they've got a fantastic female vocalist joining them. Keith Nolan's an old friend of mine, arguably the most talented blues musician in Thailand, you know, as well as Ped Bluesman, who Hua Hin are very lucky to have, you know. Keith's a legend, and he's been very good to us over the years, so he's working on that show for us at the moment. Sunday, we have to have Era 99, the Irish band, you know. They play our anniversaries for the last few years.
For anyone who hasn't seen Era 99, how would you describe them?
Energetic, Celtic, punk, like they are.
But they're Thai, right?
They're Thai. They're not your average run of the mill, you know. The singer has a couple of PhDs. They have all got great jobs. They just do it for the love of it, you know.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't realise that. But they are the best. I've only ever seen them at your place, but they're I think probably the best kind of like band you'd see. They're professional musicians, right? They're banging really.
They're certainly the most authentic Irish band in the country, you know. Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, it's the Pogues, Flogging Mollies. I mean, the main singer sounds like Shane MacGowan if you close your eyes.
Yeah.
Dropkick Murphys, you know. They've got a great repertoire, you know. They do the traditional stuff as well that you'd expect, you know. Anyone who hasn't seen Era 99 is missing out, and try to come along to that one because highly recommend.
So that's the Sunday.
That's the Sunday. And on the Monday night, we've got an original member of Father Ted's coming to do a stand-up comedy show for us.
Oh, hold on. So original Father Ted's the comedy show.
Yeah.
I used to watch it on Channel 4, right?
That's right, yeah. So Father Damo. He was the priest who stole the whistle.
Okay, right? Yeah.
He was Dougal's best pal, you know.
Okay.
He's a brilliant stand-up comedian, Joe Rooney. We actually had him once before, a couple of years back. It was without question the best comedy night we've had.
Okay.
He plays the guitar during the show, so he's kind of like Lee Shamrock to some extent. But the comedy aspect is just out of this world, and anyone who hasn't seen him perform is in for a treat that night, you know.
Okay, so that's the Monday. So we got Friday, Saturday. Oh, sorry, Sunday, Monday.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Okay.
We'll see. You might get me to do Friday now, you know.
Oh yeah, you're DJing. Okay.
Well, we'll see. You know.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
The name Father Ted's. Have you ever had any comeback about in relation to it being a TV show? Has anyone ever said, "Oh, you can't do that," or is it?
Well, the writer of the show, right? As soon as we opened, we were open about a month, and a guy from Joe.ie walked in. Now, I was unknowing who this guy was.
All right, Joe.ie is like Joe is like news, funny stuff, right?
Exactly,
Viral clips, website,
So they were the main sponsors behind Conor McGregor at the time.
Okay.
They were probably the biggest website in Ireland, you know, when we opened. And they probably still are, you know.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So I was behind the bar pulling pints. This guy came in like big beard, scruffy looking, you know, singlet, you know, Chang beer across his top. That says to me, "Look, give me a pint of Chang and I'll get you on the internet tomorrow." And so I said, "You'll be all."
Do you want to know how many times I've told people that, Dave?
I mean, if he had done it now, I'd probably just laugh it off. But I was in such good form, mate. We just opened a pub, and you know, and you seem like a nice guy. I said, "No problem, here you go, mate." You know, and literally the next morning, I think it was shared 12,000 times. He'd set up. He found pictures of me. The headline was a new Irish pub has opened abroad with the perfect name, and we were.
That's a good headline. Yeah. That is a good headline. Yeah.
A lot of people caught wind of it back home, including the writer of Father Ted.
Okay.
And he tweeted that night that he was delighted to see it, and he welcomed it, and he wished us the best of luck.
Okay.
So I had another friend who went to school with him, and I just double checked, and he was cool. You know, we rolled with it. You know.
Oh, very good.
And thankfully, we're still doing it. You know.
Very good. Well, I think that's a good note to finish on. But thank you, mate, for doing this, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Down Father Ted.
Thanks a million for having me.
Thanks, mate. Thank you for watching and listening to the Hua Hin Today podcast. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We're at Hua Hin Today Videos on YouTube and Hua Hin Today News on Facebook. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also subscribe to our email newsletter at huahintoday.com/subscribe. There you'll get the latest news, info and events in Hua Hin. And if you've got a guest suggestion or a topic you'd like us to cover, drop us a message or a comment. We'd like to hear from you. See you in the next one.